And the monthly movie watching theme is... Hey everyone, welcome to Cinema, where we focus on the film. I'm Josh, this is Simply Cinema, and today we're going to be talking about everything that I'm going to be watching in April of 2024, at least of what I'm going to try to. Let me know down in the comments below if you have any recommendations for solo movies or the franchises that you would like to see me cover on this channel. And if you have a movie watching theme for yourself, let me know what that is down in the comments below so we can have a nice discussion of our love for cinema as a whole. But we're going to get right into it, and of course, like I said, make sure to let me know if there's any rankings you'd like to do of trilogies or directors or franchises. I'd love to get insight into what you like to talk about. Next, first up, we have RoboCop. I have not seen any of these movies. This is the triple pack I got from the library, 1, 2, and 3. And I do have the reboot that will be showing up later on. Next up, we have the possible look at the Predator franchise. I've only seen the first one a few years ago, and so I'm figuring I might try and get around to this. Oh, but of course, all of these things are subject to change based on things that are not included on this list, based on certain directors or other things that I'm working up to rank on this channel based on new releases. And I'm trying to include that as well, so I'm adjusting as I'm getting used to this movie watching theme of how realistic certain things are. And I got Star Trek once again on the movie watching theme. Yes, I had it last month, and unfortunately, I did not get to it. I only have the newer trilogy on Blu-ray, but I did recently get Max, and so they have all of the original ones, and that one I want to lean more into making sure I watch the Star Trek series, just because I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and all these times later, I've only watched a few of the movies for specific reasons based on J.J. Abrams' filmography, but I haven't seen any other movies from there or any of the series since. But then we got the Mummy series. This is kind of more adventure, but I do enjoy this first one, and I would be able to get the rest at the library or some streaming service because I haven't gone out to the library for my monthly visit just yet, but I could get that, especially if you want to see a ranking or focus on that. Next up, we have the Man with No Name trilogy, and I have not seen any of these, and this is going up for another ranking here on my channel that I'm not going to spoil too much too soon. It's not much of an action franchise, it's more Western, but it goes along the same lines, and since I'm doing a lot of more franchises this month, then I'll might be able to check that off the list, plus going toward what I'm reviewing and ranking on the channel, what that's going for. Next up, we have the Equalizer movies. I have just the first one on DVD, but I am able to access 2 and 3 on elsewhere or at the library, and so that won't be too hard to find. I watched 1 and 2 last year, but didn't get to the third, so I might, since it's a more relevant franchise in one sense, based on a previous 2023 release, I'm trying to catch up on certain rankings that I missed while on hiatus. I might try and get to that 3 trilogy franchise, putting it into a ranking. And we got Escape Plan. I've had this for a while. I probably got it relatively cheap at Walmart or something, but I've seen the first, which was rather good. It's guilty fun, and I have not seen the other 2, so I can't comment on those, but some of these franchises are smaller. I was thinking of doing something big like James Bond, which I could break up into ranking each of the actors' filmographies of what they put out before I do the complete ranker. But with all of these other movies, with all of the newer movie releases based on the rankings I had just for those, I figured I'd focus more on these smaller franchises that will be easier to watch in between all of the other directors or franchises that will be coming out with new releases coming soon. Next up, we have Die Hard. I've only seen the first, and I love it. And so I figured it's time to crack open and finish this franchise. I have 1 through 4 in this set, but it won't be hard to find the 5th. Then we have the finishing touch to the RoboCop, the reboot. I've had that for a while, and yes, like I said, I haven't seen any of those. Next up, we have Expendables 1 through 3. Wasn't a huge fan of this franchise, and I just recently watched 4 a few months ago. But I do have a ranking for the first 3 and might need to update that ranking just to fill out my catalog of what's here on my channel for you guys to enjoy. Next up, we have Taken. Now, I just recently got this in my recent haul, and I just love this steelbook of the Taken movies. I upgraded this from Taken 2 on Blu-ray and the rest of the movies on DVD, and so I love Liam Neeson as an actor, and so I found this steelbook worthy of treating Liam Neeson on a nice franchise. And that's most of the franchises I'll be focusing on. I might do Jack Ryan or something else. We'll see what else there is at the library when I visit tomorrow. But in general, first up, we have individual things, whether it's action or based on movies coming out. We have Ex Machina for an Alex Garland ranking with Civil War coming out. And then we have the first 2, there is only 2, Hitman's Bodyguard and Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. I have only seen just the first Hitman's Bodyguard, so maybe I'll be able to sneak in the second one. Next up, we have 300. We'll be trying to sneak in for my Zack Snyder's ranking with Rebel Moon Part 2 coming out on April 19th. Then we have 21. I do enjoy Kevin Spacey as an actor. They have some fun chemistry within this, and I picked this up not too long ago, so might be trying to, of course, complete and watch some of the movies that are actually in my collection, which is why I'm trying to cover a lot of these. Next up, we have Super Troopers 1 and 2. I got this set from my roommate as one of my big collections that he was getting rid of movies. Haven't seen either of those 2. Next up, we have Super, and this might be the only one I need to rewatch for my James Gunn ranking, so hopefully that should be coming within the next couple weeks, depending on how much movies I'm having on the plan, on the schedule to release, because I'm not trying to do too much in one day for uploads, but I'm still trying to crank up those daily uploads. And we got Star Wars The Last Jedi. It is my birthday month, which, yes, I do enjoy this movie. It still is counted as my favorite movie of all time, which I'm still working on a favorite movies of all time, a possible top 100s list, but that could be coming for a little while, so it just still counts as my favorite, whether it gets removed from the top spot or not. Next up, we have Unknown, another Liam Neeson movie I have not seen. I'm taking away some of the other ones that I have seen, just so I can see some that I haven't. And then we have Wrath of Man. We got a new Guy Ritchie movie coming out with The Ungentlemanly Ministry of Warfare, I believe it's called. And so I might be rewatching some of those, hopefully to get our ranking out for that time. And we have Warrior. Now, this is one I haven't cracked open, but I do enjoy this movie. A big recommendation from Sean Chandler, and I do agree that it is one of the better movies, and that's one of the other ones that could be on my favorites list. This is another V for Vendetta. I haven't seen this in a few years, and so trying to check out some movies more than just doing first time watches. I gotta give myself some fresh new rewatches because my taste and how I judge movies has changed over years. So whether it's for the better, where they improve in score and quality, or drop, going to try and get some of those rewatched. And we have the Zack Snyder's Justice League. Haven't seen this since it dropped 3 years ago on HBO Max. And we're gonna try and possibly give that a full rewatch. I know it's 4 hours, but there's a reason I'm trying to change my taste or see if my judgment was as correct as it is, see if my taste has changed since. And we got a triple pack, action pack. We have Assassins, Cobra, and The Specialist, all with Sylvester Stallone. Haven't seen as much of his filmography outside of his normal franchises, Rambo and Rocky and all of those other ones, but in general, might need to crack open that one since I've had that for a while. And then we'll get to this final stack. We have The Gentleman, another Guy Ritchie, Operation Fortune from Guy Ritchie, and I might trying to get into Edgar Wright's filmography, finish it off. I've only seen Shaun of the Dead and Baby Driver from his filmography, and then I got Hot Fuzz and The World's End. I have seen The Last Night in Soho, but want to complete his filmography, and even just this trilogy at the very least. Then we have Annihilation from Alex Garland, Sin City, I haven't seen that one. We have Jumper, which I haven't seen. We have a triple feature. There's Taken again, but maybe the A-Team and Unstoppable could be on my watch list for this year. And we have Rock and Rolla, which is another Guy Ritchie, and The Losers I have not seen before. And yes, I have seen Rock and Roller, which was pretty decent for what it was, but we'll see how, if my taste has changed, if I get around to watching all of these. And we have Guy Ritchie's version of Sherlock Holmes with Robert Downey Jr., so that might be a fun revisit. And we have The Last Stand, another, and generally this is a focus on what I own, and I try to limit myself on having too much based on some of the things I'm going to be watching on streaming, and of course the new movies as well. But this is always giving me options just to set off to the side outside of my shelves and whatnot. And we got The Last Samurai with Tom Cruise, which I have not seen. In Time, it sounds like another fun time travel movie. Have not seen. 21 and 22 Jump Street, I have not seen either. And like I said, if you recommend any of these stand out for me to you, then let me know that in comments below, and I might either cover them on the channel as a franchise or in some way incorporate them into like a top 10 action movies or top 10 whatever that I may be covering at the end of the month based on this movie watching theme, depending on how much I get to. Then we have 13 Assassins, which is a foreign movie I probably picked up at the Dollar Tree a few years ago and probably need to check it off my list. Then we got Tears of the Sun. I got this a while back from my roommate or something, somewhere cheap that I would have got it for free. But it's also, I believe it's from the director that also did the Expendables, not Expendables, Equalizer movies. So it will be nice to check out another Bruce Willis movie I haven't seen. And to finish off what I at least have in front of me, of course there's all streaming and theaters, we have True Lies, getting closer to watching all of James Cameron movies, which could be a future ranking as well as every director or every franchise that I could be covering here on this channel on the future. So that's just going to be my action movie watch list plus directors or every other new movie focus that I'll be going in this month. Let me know down in the comments below any recommendations, whether I've shown or not shown here on this video, and make sure to comment down below any movie watching theme that you have for yourself, or if you like to go spontaneous and sporadic with all of what you decide to watch in the month of April 2024. So that's just all. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.